Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting
Could be
involved.
the dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hochschild gives it up. Shot is up. Oh!
Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish.
Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong fit.
She's gonna got numbers. Gonna make
1
it.
second. She slips it in just a.
Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya.
One against the screen. Ball fake, but rejected. Boom. Rejects it.
Quickly, or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a three-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
E. Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
We're happy for the boys, and I was like, I guess they knew about it.
One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
and act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle.
Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting
Could
the
be
ball.
the dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hochschild gives it up. Shot is oh!
Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish.
Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong fit.
She's gonna got numbers. Gonna
1
make it.
second. She slips it in just a.
Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya.
One against the screen. Ball fake, but rejected. Oh, rejects it.
Quickly, or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a 3-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
We're happy for the boys, and I was like, I guess they knew about it.
One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We would like to thank the following. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The evolution of the quarterback position. Things have changed. You still need to win the game from the pocket. But I think the definition of a pocket passer has developed and has changed. And we look at the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, best passer in the game right now. But he's a mobile pocket passer. And Jalen Hurts, in a lot of people's eyes, was just a running quarterback coming out of college. But that's not true. But there are traits to both their games. There are traits for Jalen Hurts that one person thinks could be a game changer and probably is a game changer right now, regardless of the outcome of the Super Bowl. Good Friday, everyone. Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Amory, our quarterback, Ned James with you this morning. Next week, it gets hot and heavy. Super Bowl 57, Philadelphia and Kansas City. The Andy Reid Bowl, the Kelsey reunion. So many storylines in this game. But it starts at the quarterback position with Patrick Mahomes, who is the best quarterback in the game right now. And Jalen Hurts, who had to prove a lot of people that he could be a passer in this league. And you look at what these quarterbacks have done this season. No surprise for Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. Over 5,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. But then you had Jalen Hurts, who became an MVP candidate this season on a fantastic football team. Hurts completed 66% of his passes, 3,700 yards passing. How about this? 22-6 touchdown to interception ratio with 13 rushing touchdowns, showing off his athletic ability. But our quarterback, Ned James, thinks that Jalen Hurts could help change people's minds around the league. Not just if he wins the Super Bowl, but they should probably be paying attention right now with what he has done. And it could benefit other quarterbacks down the line to get an opportunity.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy who was benched. This kid was benched in college in a national championship game because he lacked passing proficiency. And it launched him into moving into another college as a result of the fact that he was not as good a passer as the kid who was behind him, who lacked mobility. So it is strange, bedfellows, now that you fast forward and here's a guy playing in the Super Bowl, and we're all witnessing the evolution of that quarterback position as it relates to how evaluators, scouts, pro personnel directors, GMs will all look at that position moving forward. And here's the catch. Everyone's doing it in college, and they're seeing the advantages of implementing the quarterback in the run game and how it affects the defensive scheme. And I say that because the one thing that defenses primarily base themselves on from the beginning, and we talked a little bit about it with the Denver Broncos analyst that called in, and when you're building your team from the front back. So you're building it with offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and you start up front. And you want to implement the run game, and that's why it's important to get the right lineman, the right defensive lineman. When you add the quarterback into that element of the run game, it really changes the landscape of how defenses are scheming offenses. And so you really want to stop that run. That run is the most important thing. And when you put the quarterback in it and you spread teams out, because they have to prevent the big pass play. And so therefore, once you spread them out, if they see matchups where it's just one-on-ones, then it becomes a track meet. It's AAU. It's a track meet with the football. They're just going to throw the one-on-one passes, and it becomes a matchup game where if my guy is better than your guy, you're not going to be able to guard this guy, and we're going to have a much better time at our offense. But with the RPO game, what Jalen Hurts has shown is what people don't remember the wishbone, and they don't remember the wing tee in college football, and how it started off with leather helmets in the NFL. The game cycles, and a lot of times people don't realize that a lot of these plays, these coaches, and you hear about Andy Reid watching these old grainy tapes, Bill Belichick watching these old grainy tapes of old football in the 40s and 50s, and it's because they go and use some of those plays, and it was a running game back then, and it's a way to get to the running game and how teams got to the running game with their quarterbacks. And it was a reason why I think Bill Belichick brought Cam Newton to the New England Patriots. He won it because Cam was one of the quarterbacks that he couldn't really beat because they implemented Cam in the running game. And that's what you're seeing now. And even Patrick Mahomes, who comes from that RPO system, Andy has used him running the ball. They've run triple option in Kansas City. They've run speed option. They've run the RPO where Patrick Mahomes takes off and runs. He's just not as skilled a runner as some of these other guys like the Lamar Jacksons and the Jalen Hurts. And it's the reason why Kyler Murray can play in the NFL, because he can run. It's not because of his passing prowess. Now, he can pass as well, but you're able to do a lot of things with the quarterback position if that quarterback is implemented. And it's difficult on the defense. It puts a lot of strain on the defense. And the reason why is because they don't account for the quarterback in their defensive schemes. When you put a running back in the game, one running back in the backfield, and you spread defenses out, they only account for that running back in the defensive scheme. And so it's almost considered the 12th man when the quarterback runs the ball, because all schemes on defense are predicated on gaps, and it's not accounting for the quarterback being either a lead blocker or an extra runner in that run game. So, it's just one of those things that, we're seeing an evolution of. Nobody ever thought that we would get these kind of quarterbacks to get to a Super Bowl. It's you young guys, JJ. It's not us old guys. I'm with the traditional stiff Joe Flacco's, Peyton Manning's, and the Tom Brady's in the pocket. But that may be a bygone era here pretty soon.
You look at the top 10 passers in the NFL this season. There were two guys that you could say were traditional pocket passers. It was Tom Brady, maybe three, because I'll bring A-Marie into this. Yeah, Tom Brady, Jared Goff, and Kirk Cousins is not a runner.
No.
So there's three of the top 10 you look at are that traditional mindset, win everything from the pocket. And I think the game has changed to where it's pocket passer first, but you want that mobility. And I think we're seeing more athleticism from quarterbacks that's not necessarily just like being a runner, because you look at Patrick Mahomes, absolutely make plays out of the pocket, what you just said. Justin Herbert, the similar guy. He's just outside the pocket using athleticism. Joe Burrow gets outside the pocket mobility for him. Josh Allen, Geno Smith, and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Those are your top 10 passers in the NFL. And I think we're seeing a trend where quarterbacks, contrary to what Ned James thinks they are becoming more athletic. Still not the best athletes on the field.
Right.
I'll give you that. But teams understand the importance of having pocket mobility,
right,
and not just being cement foot in the pocket.
Yeah, but us conservative old guys,
Yeah.
you're not going to get us off
With
of
the
that.
big old 6'5",
That's right.
not the 5'11" little
Right. You're
little
not-
Mighty Mouses like Kyler Murray or
Yeah,
Russell.
and you're not moving us.
Tua.
You're not moving us off that mountain.
Yeah, because you got cement feet.
Yes, we got cement feet, and you're not moving us old guys off of the Jared Goffs. I stood in here and debated a guy.
Hey, Jared Goff played a good season.
I know, but I had a guy come in, a station manager come in and just chastise
Hey,
me about a
you know
stiff
what?
white guy,
You
and I'm
know
like,
what?
I didn't even know he was white. I thought he was just light skinned.
Ned,
he
we
said,
all-
Jared Goff, Ned, how do you like this stiff white guy who's in the pocket? I'm like, well, I come from that traditional background of NFL quarterbacks that are big, strong pocket passers. And Jared fit that mold. But like I said, with
You can
these
still be
RPO
successful.
Yeah, with these RPO guys, I mean,
You got that extra
yeah.
ability to change it.
And the fact that the Harbaugh brothers got to the Super Bowl, the one Harbaugh brother,
Colin Kaepernick there.
had Colin Kaepernick, and he was primarily runner, wasn't as efficient a passer, but that kind of quarterback can get you to a Super Bowl.
That's what makes Jalen Hurts dangerous. I've never
Or
thought Jalen Hurts wasn't a good passer. Did he need to improve on his accuracy and efficiency? Yes. But coming out of Oklahoma, the dude could make the throws. He could push the football downfield. And when I look at these quarterbacks, a Jalen Hurts, a Justin Fields,
Yeah,
I
I was gonna
get
say
these
Justin
labels
Fields. We'll get
that are
there.
they're running quarterbacks. I'm like, hold up. Did he make every throw in college? Can he push the football to the hash marks? Can he push the football to the boundaries? Yes. So miss me with just a running quarterback stuff
Well,
because
yeah,
he's athletic.
but you also have to go back, JJ. You remember that championship game before they replaced Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
I sent
he
you a
was
text.
struggling.
I sent you a text saying they've got to put the other guy in
And Tua?
because the other guy's a better passer. And Tua was just a fresh because I watched too much football. I had watched Tua in the spring game at Alabama, and he was a good passer. And I was like, they're not going to beat this Georgia team unless they
And you're
put a
seeing
passer
that.
in.
Both these guys are in the NFL.
Yes.
Both these guys are, when Tua is healthy, we've seen him be successful. But I do think that there is an element of the definition of a pocket passer has changed to where if you have that extra mobility, it's a game changer. Because teams still want you to win in the pocket.
Yeah.
Teams still want you to win throwing the football downfield. But we're seeing more and more mobility
Yes.
coming to the position.
But we need you guys, JJ, because I don't see it. I'm still stuck in the age of I need my quarterback to be like Jared Goff or Joe Flacco in the pocket.
Jeff George.
Yes, working from the pocket.
Rocket arm.
Yes. And, work. And it changes the way defensives scheme you. And that's why I'm telling you, that's why Belichick, he's a defensive guy now. Andy Reid has adjusted, and these older guys adjust. That's and I give Belichick credit.
Adapt or die.
Yes, exactly. And some of us are just slow to it. We're just a little slower.
The future is now.
Dang, adapt or die.
That's why I always have to consult you when
I'm
we
more
get these
concerned with
mobile quarterbacks.
The only thing that concerns me, I think these quarterbacks are unbelievable, and I think it's fun, but it concerns me that some of them are going to get hurt though.
Yes.
Because Jalen Hurts, look at all the quarterbacks right now. How look at the playoffs, how hurt the quarterbacks were. I'm like, okay, we got to learn how to slide better, or we got to be more careful. Because that's my only concern for all these
you look
quarterbacks
at the
in the
injuries
future.
too that we've seen, and it's
I'm like, okay,
part of the game.
Yeah, no, I know, but more than what they used to be as a
Jimmy
quarterback
Garoppolo
position.
Injury. He's not. You don't think of Jimmy Garoppolo as a runner.
He gets hurt all the time.
Well,
he's
some of
glass.
the rules have changed to help the quarterbacks.
Totally.
And so much you can't hit them, but you
When
can
they're
hit
outside the
them.
pocket.
When they're outside the pocket, you can hit them.
Yeah.
And
All good.
defenses teach them, hey, once that quarterback starts riding it like it's triple option,
Hit 'em.
they'll even
Hit 'em.
tell them, hey, let the running back rush for 300 yards. We're just going to hit that quarterback every single time. And it's the reason why you want to hit the quarterback is because there's a reason why they make the most money. And there's a reason why they have these rules to protect them. Coaches, not coaches, but
Still get the NFC
owners,
Championship
owners
game.
and general managers don't want that property, that value to be
'Cause
damaged.
it's a game changer.
Yes, because if you lose that quarterback, that's the highest paid guy on your payroll.
We just watched it happen in the NFC Championship game.
Right.
The 49ers played the second half without a quarterback. Just
Yes.
someone that could hand the football off and not
Yes.
throw the football.
So you have
And
to
it's
be
game over.
judicious in how you use that running quarterback because here's a guy who's making the most money on your team, and if you lose him, the guy who's behind him is not going to be as quality a guy you would think because of the salary of a player. So that's what you're facing when you use these non-traditional means at the quarterback position.
Got to be smart.
When you put them in the running game, the risk reward thing is what you really have to be careful about.
The risk reward right now is the Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl taking on Patrick Mahomes. What do you think about the evolution of the quarterback position, the mobile pocket passer? If you got plus athleticism, it can be a game changer at the quarterback position. 505-246-0610 is 377 Brewery hotline and text line this morning. Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes. It's a fascinating quarterback matchup, and it is so much more than that for both of these quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes spoke on what this moment means and the coaching matchup. You have the veteran Andy Reid versus the young gun Nick Sirianni. What are going to be some of the advantages and disadvantages between these coaches as we get ready for Super Bowl 57? We got a stacked show for you this morning. Coming up at 8:30, Chad Brown, former All-Pro NFL linebacker, is going to join us. We'll dive more into the NFL and the big storylines. He was once a teammate of Tom Brady's in New England as Tom Brady hangs it up, the legend that he left. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Makes a little sports analysis.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sound of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
When you have one of those guys, it's a game changer. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. Jalen Hurts is creeping his way up in that conversation. It's not easy to find those guys. And sometimes you need to be in the right situation, right coach, talented roster to maximize all of your talents. And what we're seeing in the Super Bowl is also 2 different generations of coaches. Andy Reid, been there, done that, but he always seems like he's still at the forefront of offensive evolution. And Nick Sirianni was an offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. Was one of the hires that people were like, really? Sirianni? Was he calling plays? Was it Frank Reich coming out of that system? Well, he's hit the ground running because there's so much more that you have to do as a head coach. Nick Sirianni is a good manager of the game. He's got a good staff. And so you got the young gun, Sirianni, versus the old guard in Andy Reid, Super Bowl 57. You can hear it right here on the Sports Animal, the home for the Super Bowl. Our coverage starts at noon, Super Bowl Sunday, leading up to kickoff and the big game. JJ Buck, Amory, our quarterback, Ned James with you this morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. And Ned, I know this is something that excites you, is getting into the X's and O's of it, the nitty-gritty. Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, 2 guys that have really good systems with the staffs they've put together. What stands out to you about the matchup?
Well, you know, these new guns, these young guns, Andy's adjusted. He's been able to grow up in the West Coast system of Bill Walsh, Mike Shanahan, Mike Holmgren, all those guys who were involved in putting that West Coast offense together. The Grudens, all those guys. Those guys are all from the same tree. And to see Andy evolve into understanding and utilizing the RPO game and still keeping some of his elements of the West Coast offense within this offense. Now, Nick Sirianni, he came from a passing offense with Frank Reich in his system. But at the same time, I like the innovation of young people. Young people's creative minds. These are smart young guys. You know, we might not understand all this analytics and sabermetrics and all this other language that you guys are using nowadays, load management and all these kind of things. But the science is the science. You know, if it's moving in a different direction, the young guys are in the forefront of that movement. I see this Nick Sirianni being one of those guys, taking a Jalen Hurts who, you know, when you lack the efficiency in the passing game, it's one thing. It's almost as if, you know, the more mobile you are, the less efficient in the passing game. So you may be a 60% completion guy, but you're mobile. And you may be a 65% completion guy, and you're not as mobile. So, you know, it's kind of all skewed. And these young guys are changing the game with, you know, Staleys, the guys that's at San Diego with the fourth downs and when you go for it on fourth down and when you don't, and those kind of things. So the evolution of the game, the young guys are taking it in a direction that, us conservative older guys, maybe there's some good to what we know, but the young guys are the ones who are the risk takers, who are taking a chance with using the
like
quarterback
anything in life.
mobily.
It's being open to new ideas, being able to adjust your plan, because if you stay one way forever, you're going to be stuck and not be able to move forward. And that's with anything. In sport, you evolve. Because like what you were just saying, too, is things go in cycles. And coaches go back and pull from old school football, pull from coaches that they knew growing up. And then you start sprinkling in the new things along the way. And that's how you get to game plans that work for the different type of athletes that you have at the quarterback position. That's how you find a way to make Jalen Hurts more than just a runner. And you look at him completing 66% of his passes, not turning the football over, and someone that you trust pushing the football downfield.
But it's just so hard, JJ, for us old guys to stop eating oatmeal every morning. We have to have the regimen.
Solid breakfast.
We have to have our regimen the same every morning. We have to have our shoes lined up the same way when we get out of bed every morning. We don't just jump out of bed like young spring chickens do. We have to have some order.
I had my first gut wrenching old person moment last night.
Oh.
Like the first time it hit me really hard.
Oh no.
No, not you, JJ.
Yes, I'm an old man.
Did you get gray hair?
No. So pregame, getting ready. UNM women's basketball, UNLV. One of the players was walking along the scores table. Pregame shoot around. We're talking about some music. It came up. What do you listen to? What do you like? What's your favorite genre of music? And I was like, growing up, my favorite band was Linkin Park, and I got just a stare. No idea who Linkin Park was.
Oh,
and my heart just sunk.
Gosh.
I was like, am I that old now?
Yes.
Imagine when
someone doesn't know my favorite band.
Imagine when you tell the kids, when are they going to play the Bar-Kays or Marvin Gaye on the loudspeaker, and they look at you, oh yeah, my granddad listens to that.
You're like, oh no.
How about that? When you
it's getting close.
Things. Yeah.
I had one of those moments. I was like, I didn't think it was that old. Oh, you're an old man now. Better deal with it.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, you just wait. You think that's you just wait.
Even watching some of these young players, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so much older than them.
Well, welcome to the old person opening drive here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. It's a great matchup in Super Bowl 57, from Patrick Mahomes to Jalen Hurts to Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, the staffs, the offenses that they have built. But last night, we got some entertainment. Derek Carr, he has jokes. Where's Derek Carr going to be playing football next year? We don't know, and he's okay with it. We'll let you hear what Derek Carr had to say. It was a Pro Bowl skills competition. There's a couple people here that love the Pro Bowl and want their Pro Bowl back.
Amen.
It's opening drive here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting the ball.
The dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hostile gives it up. Shot is up. Oh!
Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish.
Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong fit.
She's going to got numbers.
1 second. She slips it in just a...
Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya.
The screen, ball fake, but rejected. Boom. Rejected.
Quick quickly or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a three-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
E. Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
What happened to the boys? And oh boy.
Coach.
I guess they knew about it.
One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
So Derek Carr had the jokes last night, Pro Bowl skills competition. There's a couple people, talking to Amory and Ned James, that are sickos. You can't get enough of the Pro Bowl. Ned James wants his Pro Bowl back. Amory loved the skill competition.
I loved it last night. I loved it. I had a great time. Good to see the players. Like, I bet if you were there on TV, it's probably a hard product, but like, if you were there, I feel like it was a lot of fun.
What were they doing last night?
Oh my God, they did like a water balloon toss. And it was so funny. Okay, this is the best part. And then you just see these huge linemen and then some running backs and some DBs. It was a mix of all the players. doing a water balloon competition. It was so funny because these guys are competitive like beasts, right? Like it was so much fun. And then of
Did you do an
course,
egg toss.
I did water balloon, precision passing, and what was and then they had in Old Vegas. If you have ever been there, they have a zip line, and they had some DBs like on the zip line and people throwing to them. It was very, it was so different. But the best part was the brother, like the sibling rivalry, like, and the NFC is just getting destroyed in the skills competition. So it was really funny. Oh, they had a dunk because they had a dunk tank too. It was Ray Lewis and Eli.
In the dunk tank.
Well, it wasn't really a dunk. It wasn't a dunk tank. It was like paper confetti falling on them, which I thought was hilarious. I thought it was fun.
Competition
it was
aspect
fun.
of it.
It was
Some
fun.
of those old videos you see.
It was
like
fun.
The quarterbacks having to run around obstacles and throw out a target. I think that is entertaining. That entertains me for the Pro Bowl. There are some people that didn't realize the Pro Bowl meant flag football this season. The Pro Bowl is a flag football game. That's not just something that they're doing for fun and then they're playing football. No, it's a flag football game. And I know our quarterback, Ned James, wants his real football back. You're never going to get it. They don't want to play football anymore at the Pro Bowl. They don't. So it's flags.
Yeah. It's like MMA guys having a pie eating contest. All the great MMA fighters having a balloon toss or, it just doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to play flag football, what do the offensive linemen do? Put the offensive linemen in pads, have them block, and then just pull flags instead of tackle.
They are just there to get their bonus and move on.
And that's my point. I mean, whatever happened to, guys competing for, a reward at the end, a trophy at the end. Now everybody gets a trophy here at the Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl, man.
Yeah. Players
All-Star game.
were born to play. You need to play. I mean, guys will take care of each other. They're not going to go out there and hurt each other.
But that's why
they got a contract.
Became an unwatchable product. And I don't care. You can tell me the ratings are high. People turn it on because it's football, but you're not enjoying the Pro Bowl. So to your point, they stopped playing. They don't want to be there. And so now it becomes a flag football game.
Well, you just got to make the incentives better. You give
But then how do you play? If you say guys are going to take care of each other.
Yeah.
But then you're not going to play
real
football.
In all sincerity, guys take care of each other during the regular season and in the playoffs. There's certain rules. There's unwritten rules that guys have on the offensive line, defensive line, receivers and DBs. Hey, no quick jamming. I won't cut you. You don't hands to the face. I won't cut you. Those are things that guys talk about and they understand. And, I remember a guy coming because I was trying to teach a guy to cut block in the NFL. He goes, oh, no. He says, I don't ever have to cut block. He says, I won't ever do that. He says, I'll do it if a guy comes up and, the guys jump up and quick jam you at receiver. He says, I'll tell a guy, now, don't do that anymore. Now, if a guy does it, he says, I'm going to cut you. Now, there's rules. They've changed the cutting rules because it does so much damage if a guy, gets cut.
Yeah, they have.
His knee injuries. But there's like unwritten rules that guys have already within the game.
Do you think players want to go back to playing a real football game in the Pro Bowl?
Yes, I do. I think what happens is the guys who don't want to play are guys, up for contracts, guys who say that, hey, I'm at the Pro Bowl and, I just don't really feel like exerting the energy to play in the Pro Bowl. I want to just take this. I want to take the money. I want to take my wife and kids to Hawaii, and I don't. Now, guys can tap out. Guys can say, hey, I don't want to be in the Pro Bowl. I don't want to be a Pro Bowler. Okay, then we take the Pro Bowl tag off of you. We give it to somebody else. They're going, no. I want the Pro Bowl. I want to be a part. I want to be. So, there's incentives to play the Pro Bowl game. I mean, this whole idea of guys getting hurt, it's silly because guys can get hurt playing flag football. Now, what are they? They're going to have to protect each other playing flag football. Now, whenever there's somebody keeping score, there's going to be a guy who wants to win. It's the old Michael Jordan thing. If you're playing checkers, I want to beat you. I want to beat you. If we're throwing dimes up against the wall, I want to win. So there's going to be guys wanting to win. Is there an incentive to win? Okay, whichever flag football team wins, are they getting 80,000 and the losers get 10,000?
It's 84,000 and 42,000.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think they should change that a little bit. I think it should be 110, and then that'll make it more competitive. Because now the guys who are going to be making 100 are going to be playing harder than the guys who are going to lose. And I know these guys make a lot of money already anyway, but and that's why I'm so passionate about the Pro Bowl, because one of the greatest All-Star game speeches I've ever heard in my life was Walker. I can't remember his first name. I think it was Dwayne Walker. It was a defensive tackle from the Houston Texans. We're playing in the Pro Bowl. We're in Hawaii. It's halftime, and they're just I'm on the AFC, and the NFC is just killing us. And the way they're winning the game is on special teams, because every time we kick off, they're beating us, like I think by 10 points or something like that. Every time we kicked it off, they had the guy, the beer man from the New Orleans Saints, who was the top kick and punt returner that year. He was running the kickoffs back. And so most Pro Bowl guys don't play on special teams. And so we kept kicking it to him, and the guy kept running it back. And I'm like, why are we kicking it to this guy? Well, Dwayne Walker comes in at halftime, and he gives the greatest speech I've ever heard. Like, a lot of guys aren't making multi-millions of dollars, but a lot of them are making millions of dollars. And he told the team, and this is when Ricky Williams got MVP that game, because he came out second half on special teams, just knocked out Jeremy Shockey and some other guys. But he says, hey, I don't care how much money you make. He says, all of you guys have to bring family members here. You have to put them up in hotels. You have to pay for limousines. You have to pay for dinners. I think the difference in the pay was maybe, I think we got like $65,000. I think the losers got $20,000 or something like that. He's like, I don't care how much money you make, $65,000 or $65,000. And a lot of you guys have to pay for a lot of people to come out here. And so let's go out here and kick these guys' butt and get this money. And I thought, yeah, I was ready to go play. And so we went out, came back, and beat the NFC. And, it was nice because the coaches get the same check that the players get in the Pro Bowl. So you kind of
That is why we have figured it out.
It ain't the money, though. It ain't the money.
It's the whole point. That's what you've said.
But
it's always money.
It's the competition, though. You still want to win. At the end of the day, when they're keeping score, you want to win.
So they just need more money. Doesn't make you want to watch the Pro Bowl.
I think you can get better product if the discrepancy in pay is significant. If you say, okay, like you said, she said, what is it, 80-45 or something like that? Make it 125. The winners get 100, the losers get 25,000. And in that way, those guys are like, hey man, I had to fly a lot of people here to this game. Wherever, they're playing in Vegas and you fly them cross country. I still think it should be in Hawaii, because that's the incentive, because the wives make it an incentive. Like, hey, you going to the Pro Bowl, baby. I know you don't want to go. I remember my ex, we were playing an AFC Championship game. My ex-wife, she didn't want us to go to the Super Bowl. I was like, what do you? She was, I've been to San Diego. I mean, you're from California. We go to San Diego. I want to go to Hawaii. I want to. If
You're
we
like,
lose,
I want to play for a championship.
I said, I want to play for a Super Bowl. Well, if we lose, we go to Hawaii. I mean,
like,
yeah.
what?
She's like, the difference is probably what, 20, 30,000. Yeah, we could use the money, but I kind of would like to go to Hawaii.
I kind of want a Super Bowl.
And they get per diems. The wives get per diems. They don't have to work. I have to go there and work, because you got to put a plan together for the players for the Pro Bowl. But they get to tour the whole mountain, and they have all these festivities for them. But that's just the incentive in the Pro Bowl, and just make it guys want to compete.
Fascinating. I love the energy from Ned James. Make the Pro Bowl great again.
Yes.
That's what he's going for. It's a flag football game now. It's just going to be on in the background this weekend, but some people are still all in. The clock is ticking on Raiders quarterback Derek Carr, and he made it known his decision versus what the Raiders want to do. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Lowe.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Has been at the forefront of that. He's been the face of the Raiders organization. Good quarterback, under 500 quarterback. But I think someone a franchise is going to be very happy to acquire. It really does feel a lot like Matthew Stafford 2.0, just in terms of a guy that is a franchise that could never really get it right with him at quarterback. But do you think Derek Carr with the New York Jets could be pretty good in that offense, the way they run the football? I do. Do you think Derek Carr is an upgrade over what they have in Tennessee? Interesting. But he's going to be available. Last night, Derek Carr was talking with Ryan Clark, and I'll just let you hear what Derek had to say in this clip from the Pro Bowl skills competition last night. We'll get it to you in a second. But Derek Carr, of course, he had the social media post where he said goodbye to everyone in Las Vegas, but he is still under contract.
Yeah.
And they haven't released him. Now, here's the thing. So, Derek Carr, here he is. So I really appreciate that from Derek Carr last night
honest
in
assessment.
the Pro Bowl skills competition. So here's the thing. Derek Carr has a trigger date in his contract. That is February 15th. And that means that on February 15th, he is still with the Las Vegas Raiders. He gets $40 million in guaranteed money. And Derek Carr said he will not extend that date to allow the Raiders to renegotiate that. The Raiders have not allowed him to seek a trade. So he is saying, release me.
Right.
If you keep me on the roster February 15th, guess what? I get $40 million. And that money is not going back to you. So it's either you release me now or let me seek a trade. But Derek Carr has laid that down. And that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up $40 million guaranteed. The Raiders made the decision. They benched Derek Carr.
Right.
They said, you are not good enough to be our quarterback anymore. And now you have to make the decision.
They chose the head coach over the quarterback. And, you should. You should choose the head coach over your quarterback. The coach is the leader of the team. And, they pushed all their chips in the center of the table. And they're saying that, we're going to go with our head coach. And, Derek, we wish you well. But we're not going to give you $40 million, and see you later. Now, which team picks him up is still open for debate. I know a lot of people talked about New York and J.J. Buck's favorite offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, with the Jets. I don't know if that's a destination for Derek Carr. Now, Derek Carr, you have to understand when just like you have superstar players, you have superstar coaches. I mean, he worked with probably one of the better offensive coordinators in pro football, and John Gruden. And so, now you go to a different team. A lot of times these teams are desperate. With desperate teams come, desperate coaches. So you may not have that same kind of coach that you had when you were with the Raiders and you were so successful. And you put up those numbers. Now, yeah, the talent is there. Yeah, the talent has something to do with it as well. But at the same time, the situation you go into may not be as good as the situation that you left. But in his case, you don't have any choice. You don't have a choice in the matter. So, he's going to try to choose wisely, I'm sure. And I'm sure he's going to get, he's going to wait and see where some of the coordinators land. I talked to Greg Olson a little bit, and Greg Olson was his coordinator with the Raiders.
Not the tight end Greg Olson.
Not the tight end Greg, but the offensive coordinator
Greg Olson.
Who's buddies with John Gruden and those guys.
What do you have to say about Derek Carr?
No, he loves Derek Carr. He obviously because they've worked together for so long, but he's out of a job. He's looking because he was with the Rams last year, and now he's out looking. Where he lands, maybe a spot where they can kind of partner up and continue what they were doing in Las Vegas. So we'll see what happens with that.
Teams in the quarterback market: Indianapolis, Houston, Carolina, Washington, the New York Jets, New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Atlanta Falcons, Las Vegas Raiders. You could add in San Francisco because they're going to have to bring someone in. Would they go Derek Carr over Trey Lance? You look at teams I did not say because I expect them, with the way the quarterback market is shaping up, to stick with their guy, and that is the Giants, Daniel Jones, the Seattle Seahawks, and Geno Smith. It makes sense if you can get a shorter-term deal with those quarterbacks done and just keep building those rosters. Then you have some question marks. Where does Tennessee feel they're at as a franchise? You look last year, number 1 seed in the AFC. They got beat by the Cincinnati Bengals. This year, unfortunately, Ryan Tannehill goes down at the end of the season. They end up playing Joshua Dobbs late in the year. They have Malik Willis on the roster that didn't trust quite yet, the rookie. And I expect Indianapolis and Houston to fully go all in on either C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. But there's still a lot of destinations for quarterbacks right now.
In the case of Derek Carr, start with the money and then work your way down. The places that could give him the most money and afford to give him the most money are the places that are likely will land him, and then work your way down to those teams.
It's always about the money. Get your cheddar. Get your paycheck. It is Friday, by the way.
Yes, it is. Payday.
Get ready for the weekend. We got former All-Pro NFL linebacker Chad Brown joining us at 8:30 to discuss all things NFL. Get ready for the Super Bowl. Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal, at 9 o'clock. Little Lobo and Mountain West basketball and the game-changing quarterback matchup in the Super Bowl. What does it mean for the sport? It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Super Bowl is set.
Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting the
Could be
ball.
the dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hostile gives it up. Shot is up. Oh!
Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish.
Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong.
She's going to got numbers. Going to
1
make it.
second. She slips it in just a...
Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya.
One against the screen. Ball fake, but rejected. Oh, rejects it.
Quickly, or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a three-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
E. Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
We're happy for the boys, and oh boy.
I guess they knew about it.
One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and J.J. Bach.
Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. The game changers at the quarterback position. The evolution of what we think about quarterback play in the NFL. And it has evolved. You still have to be a pocket passer, but there's added elements to that. Mobility, winning outside the pocket, the RPO game. Jalen Hurts was a quarterback that so many people for years would say, you can't get to the Super Bowl with that quarterback, let alone win it. Colin Kaepernick, flash in the pan. Where is he now? He's not quarterback in an NFL team. But it's the traits. It's the evolution of the position. The athleticism that is creeping in more and more to quarterback play in the NFL. And we're seeing it with the best. Patrick Mahomes is not just a traditional pocket passer. He wins inside and outside the pocket. Now, you still have to be able to push the football downfield, but the mobility is a game changer. An RPO quarterback that can be efficient in the passing game, that's Jalen Hurts. That's an Eagles offense that runs it down the field and can beat you over the top.
Here's a question for you, JJ. What do you think, and people who are listening, you need to call and give me an answer to this, because this I'm a little confused about. And maybe it's just my old man thinking, and I think old people see things a little bit differently than you.
You're younger than you
young
think,
rock
Ed.
stars. What do the fans want to see? Do the fans want to see a guy play the position from the pocket, or do the fans enjoy the athletic, mobile quarterback running, these RPOs, quarterbacks in the run game, the Patrick Mahomes who throw the fancy passes, don't look passes outside of the pocket? Is that more entertaining to the fan? Does the fan want to see? Everybody wants their team to win. I get that part. But the entertainment value of it, do they like their quarterbacks to be pocket guys like us old guys? We want to be able to sit on our couch, our remote control, know where that quarterback's going to be every play, and understand that, hey, those guys outside, those are the only athletes on the field. I don't want my quarterback to be athlete. I want my quarterback to be in the pocket. Or do they want the Vince Youngs? You could say what you want about Vince Young. He's out of the league. But the guy won Rookie of the Year.
That rookie year was fantastic.
He looked like Buck Deer sprinting out of that pocket. I mean,
But here's the thing with some of those guys. We talk about the evolution. They have to be able to throw the football. First and foremost, I will tell you that football fans want their quarterback to be able to throw the football, because that is what they believe and that is what they trust in.
I know, but
from my fan standpoint,
yeah,
they will tell you. And 505-246-0610, that is the 377 Brewery hotline and text line. We, all of us, even still now, as I'm talking about the development of the quarterback position, we are conditioned that if you can't throw from the pocket, you can't win. That's why so many people are out on Lamar Jackson. And they're like, if I was Baltimore, I wouldn't pay the man.
When you say out on Lamar Jackson, young people, when Drew Brees says, my son only wanted to come to the Pro Bowl. He never wanted to come to the Pro Bowl with him. He only wanted to come to the Pro Bowl because he wanted to see Lamar Jackson.
The kids like it.
Because the kids like the excitement
Absolutely.
of the. Now, old people, we want efficiency. Like the Josh Allen's a guy. These are not efficient passers. Josh Allen's not an efficient pass. He didn't come into the NFL as he came in as a big athletic guy who can run, and people really like the fact that he's athletic. He can jump over people. He runs over guys. They like that part of it. That's my question. Do you like that style of play at the quarterback position?
I think you want
or do you want Jared Goff? Do you want Tom Brady's? Do you want Joe Flacco?
Justin Herbert. You want Trevor Lawrence. The new school quarterback.
Everybody wants ice cream and cake and steak. I get that. You want both.
That's what I'm saying.
You want both.
You don't
I
want the
understand.
Lamar
but you
Jacksons
can't get
of the
both.
world.
You can
Yes,
only
you
get.
can.
You can't. The guys who are runners are not going to be as efficient as guys who stand in the pocket.
But I mean, you want the passer with mobility. I think a lot of people are looking at Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, and they're not sold on those players.
Yeah, and I understand you're saying you want the best of both worlds.
Patrick, we can't compare everyone to Patrick Mahomes all the time because then no one can play quarterback. I say that all the time. Like, there's good quarterbacks like a Jared Goff, a Kirk Cousins. You got to find a way to win. But to answer your question, I think fans want the passer that can move. And that's why I'm not saying the Patrick Mahomes. I'm going a Justin Herbert, a Trevor Lawrence style quarterback where when they get outside the pocket, they can get some yards and get down.
And I understand.
But they're playing from the pocket.
Yeah, I understand that. That's kind of the best of both worlds. What I'm saying is if you get the same production out of a guy who doesn't pass the ball as much, but he can do it with his legs, he can run.
So
but
Lamar
you're getting
Jackson.
production. You're getting Lamar Jackson as opposed to a Jared Goff, a guy who does it only from the pocket. But they're getting the same efficiency. You get the same amount of wins. You get the same efficiency offense. But yet one style is the little kids like it. You got here's a Pro Bowler, Hall of Fame quarterback, and his kid is like, Dad, you're good, but I like Lamar Jackson.
Because
the kid kids. And I remember being in Tennessee, I would laugh because I couldn't stand Vince Young, and the kids were like, "You're crazy." They want to fight you. They loved Vince Young in Tennessee. It's that. It's rock and roll versus the classical music. Guys, the old guys want the classical music, and the young guys want rock and roll. And so that's my position. Even though you can have the Justin Herberts and the kid down at Jacksonville who can do a little bit of both, but at the end of the day, what are you? Are you going to run it, or are you going to be a pass quarterback? So that's my thing. What's more entertaining? Do the fans really like? Because there's some fans who think, hey, Lamar Jackson, if Lamar Jackson got to a Super Bowl, people would say, oh, how are they going to stop him? This works. But the fact that he has it, he won a league MVP. You got to get a guy who cannot pass, who won a league MVP.
This is the way you framed it. I do like, because you point out you always want the best of both worlds. Of course, you want to win. You want the best of everything. But I do think that we're seeing more and more, even with pocket passers, is they're understanding the need to have enough mobility that Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff. We're not seeing a lot of those guys really come into the league anymore. Even when you look at a Brock Purdy, who Mr. Irrelevant, he goes in, it's a great system, but you see him, he keeps a lot of plays alive out of the pocket. He'll get out of trouble even to just throw it away. And so I think that's what you're looking for out of a quarterback.
Even the big stiffs can kind of get out of the way a little bit. Even the Jared Goffs and the Tom Brady's, those guys can slip and slide out of the pocket. Do you call that mobility if a guy can slip, slide in the pocket?
Mobility.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, for lack of a better word, it's just a slip slide guy. It's
slip
a guy.
Sliding.
Yeah, he slips slides in the pocket.
I think we're seeing
mobility is a
more
guy
and
who
more
can
an
run
evolution away from just a slip and slide quarterback, where you still have to be able to pass it in the game. But these guys are become better athletes because they've heard you talk for so many years how they're not athletic, Ned. They've heard you say that the quarterbacks are and you're a quarterback. You are a quarterback. Yeah. Ned James is our college quarterback.
I can't make a guy athletic. I can't make him. But just because you got a big, strong arm doesn't.
But though they hear you talking, Ned, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to work on my athleticism. I'm going to get better because Ned James does not think we're athletes at the quarterback position. JJ Buck, A-Marie, Ned James, opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. 505-246-0610 is the 377 Brewery hotline and text line. John, you're on the opening drive. What's going on, John?
Hey, you guys are right on with athleticism. I love the defense, and your defense locks them down first, second, third down, but nothing is more demoralizing than your defense locking them down third and long, and that athletic quarterback that, has been back there throwing goes and scoots for 15, 20 yards and gets the first down. You see it time and time again, whether it's Burrows or Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. They're all doing it. The good ones, the exciting ones, the ones that are in postseason. So that's, you like it when your guy does it, and boy, you hate it when the other guy does it.
So let me ask you this question. Do you like Jared Goff or Lamar Jackson? Pick one.
Out of the two, I like Lamar Jackson more than Jared Goff because I like some excitement. I know Detroit's been slinging it a lot better this year, but, when healthy.
Let me give you
Lamar
an easy. Let me give you an easy. Let me
brings
give you an easier
excitement.
one. Let me give you an easier one. Tom Brady or Lamar Jackson.
I hate Tom Brady, but you have to go with Tom
Take
Brady.
your personal feelings out of it. Take your personal. What do you like to see? What excites you as a fan more?
As a fan, I think Lamar Jackson, but I'd go back to and Tommy Frazier and running a triple option too. I like running back that can scoot.
John, appreciate the phone call this morning. He likes that little extra, and that it's the best of both worlds if you can get it. But you're also trying to separate it a little bit more.
Yes.
And we're seeing teams have to make that decision. Baltimore is trying to decide if they believe that Lamar Jackson, who was an NFL MVP, and the record speaks for itself. When that guy's on the field, they win a lot of football games.
We're talking about
trust him.
But we're talking about when you say
the
the evolution of football. We're
Yeah.
talking about the evaluation process of the quarterback position. We're talking about a kid playing in the Senior Bowl, the top football prospects coming into the draft this year, NFL draft. A kid from Shepherd University. Most people listening don't even know where Shepherd University is.
No.
Now this guy's a pocket guy, but he's picked out of all the hundreds of quarterbacks that are coming into this draft this year. He's out of Shepherd. There's a reason why they have him at the Senior Bowl. He's a talent. Yeah.
Ray, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Ray?
How's it going, guys?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I'm like you, Ned. I'm old school. I like the drop back passer, but my team's the Raiders. I have had Derek Carr for 9 years, and he can't scramble for his life. I'm ready for a change and go to a guy that can run out of the pocket and throw the ball also, like a Michael Vick. That's what I'm looking for now for the Raiders. I've dealt with Carr for 9 years, nothing but a drop back passer.
Yeah. See, Carr's won a lot of games, but it's the entertainment value. That's what I was trying to get to. Is that people like, despite the fact that these pocket quarterbacks probably win more games in a lot of cases, the fact that the entertainment value, and I noticed this with the young people, with Vince Young. I could not stand Vince Young. And the kids were looking at me like I had three heads. Like, this is the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. And it's that whole, is it entertainment or is it, the wins? What is it with football that people that make this or the NFL the most popular sport in America? It's the entertainment. So it's a little bit of both.
What do you want in your quarterback? Is the game changing? It absolutely is. And I think we're seeing with pocket passers, not just the slip and slide, but guys becoming more mobile, where they're still passers first, but they have that ability to make some plays outside the pocket. And I think that's just the evolution of the athlete at the quarterback position, because they've heard for too many years. They listen to Ned James say they were the worst athletes on the field, and they're trying to change that perception. Speaking of athletes, got a little rowdy last night. Dylan Brooks, public enemy number one in Cleveland. LeBron James still chasing history. What you need to know as the NBA trade deadline takes closer and closer. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Theobroma is Greek for food of the gods. Now, what if I told you guys I have a place called Theobroma Chocolatier? Doesn't that sound amazing? Theobroma Chocolatier is located on Montgomery and Tramway and should be your go-to place for all your chocolate needs for your holidays and special events. And guys, there's a big event coming up, and I'm not talking about the big game. It's Valentine's Day. Don't wait until the last minute to get cheap drugstore candy. Don't do that. Don't go the day after the big game to the shelves when they're empty. There's like some cards and candy and whatever left. Don't do that. Call the owner. She's my girl, Heather, at Theobroma Chocolatier at 293-6545, and she'll find you the perfect chocolate experience for your Valentine. Whether it's her melt-in-your-mouth chocolate truffles, I can't control myself. They're so delicious. You'll want to eat all of them. Soft centers, chocolate-covered popcorn, gift boxes, you name it, she has it. It's amazing. So stop by Theobroma Chocolatier today or place your order at 293-6545. Again, the number is 293-6545. Theobroma Chocolatier, a delight in every bite.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabon.
NBA trade deadline is February 9th. What are some of the big names on the move? Last night in Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell and Memphis Grizzlies guard Dillon Brooks got into it. They were both ejected in the third quarter. Dillon Brooks, maybe a shot to Family Jewels on Donovan Mitchell.
Not nice.
Mitchell goes right at him. And words exchanged. And this was one where it wasn't a hold me back, bro. Like, Donovan Mitchell was going right at Dillon Brooks. It was heated. Both teams calling out, not both teams, excuse me, Donovan Mitchell, his head coach, calling out Dillon Brooks. And you know when you get to that moment where you're going right after someone, you've had enough of their ish.
Yes.
There was no hold me back. It was Donovan Mitchell was going straight at Dillon Brooks last night.
And I think Dillon Brooks is trying to make a name for himself in the NBA. I mean, you know, he's kind of a mid-level guy, but he thinks he's probably a little bit better than what he really is. And I think a lot of times guys get, you know, into themselves and you know, they're not thinking that, you know, this is a profession and you have to be professional and you have to, you know, keep your wits about you. And I think Dillon Brooks is one of those kind of guys who you know, you gotta be careful with, you know. So, and I think, like you said, Mitchell probably had enough and decided, okay, I'm gonna fix this, you know, for the long term.
So there's certain lines you do not cross, regardless. You're talking about players protecting each other. That's a line. Dillon Brooks crossed it last night as Cleveland defeated the Memphis Grizzlies 128-113. So the NBA trade deadline is a week away. One of the teams that a lot of people are looking at is the Los Angeles Lakers. They came back, beat Indiana last night 112-111. Of course, all eyes on LeBron James chasing history, trying to run down Kareem. But could they swing for the fences? A name to watch is Zach LaVine, the Chicago Bulls shooting guard, outstanding player. You probably know him from the NBA dunk contest.
Yes.
But the dude is a very good all-around player. There's a lot of buzz about him going back to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Chicago Bulls and Toronto Raptors are teams to watch that could be sellers at the NBA trade deadline. And as the Lakers, not just about LeBron James chasing history, it's about trying to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're talking not top six, like play-in tournament stuff. That's what the Lakers are dealing with right now. But Zach LaVine is a name to watch out for, and then pretty much anyone on the Toronto Raptors, from Pascal Siakam, the New Mexico State alum, to Fred VanVleet.
Oh, wow.
They're the players that can be on the trade block. So we'll break down some of those big moves, and how could the Lakers pull off a deal like that? Because everyone's sitting there is going, wait a second. They have nothing left.
There's nothing.
They have nothing left. They don't have a
Nothing.
draft pick till 2040. Well, there's a couple ways the Lakers could swing a big-time trade and try to make a run at it this season.
And it's the Lakers.
It is the Lakers.
Patrick Beverly, like
Yeah. Well,
Anthony Davis, like
could
what are they going to give up
convince someone
to get Russell Westbrook?
to take Russell Westbrook
Oh
off their
man,
hands?
For
It's
money.
entirely possible.
For money. Everything
Money and
revolves around the money.
hey, first-round draft pick, whether it's today or in 2042, franchise love first-round draft picks. The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. J.J. Buck, A. Marie, our quarterback Ned James with you this morning, and it is time for a sweet deal. Summer Willis, the owner of 66 Diner, is in with us this morning. Good morning, Summer. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys?
I am better now. I've been sitting here all morning saying, man, I am hungry. I am hungry. And this is the place to be. I love 66 Diner because it has old school vibes, but then you always do have kind of that new school flavor on the menu. And it feels like there's something for everyone when you go get something to eat.
Yeah, that's kind of our goal. We want to be a family-friendly restaurant. Obviously, 50s theme, retro. But yeah, same sort of thing. We rotate our specials, rotate our menu, update things, kind of try to keep it fresh. It's a fun place for sure.
Our sweet deal today, for $25, you get $50 worth of 66 Diner goodness. Deal goes live at 9 a.m. Our website, sportsanimалabq.com. And everyone always asks, what's the go-to favorite? What do you do? Do you have any secrets on the menu or anything that, hey, I order it this way, this is what you should try?
You got to get the 66 fries. It's our fries with our house-made queso, green chili queso on top, delicious. Also, our Frito pie is amazing. Make our chili in-house. We make our red chili sauce, green chili sauce in-house. What I brought for you guys today, we make all our own baked goods, pies, cakes, everything we make in-house. So I would encourage, try some of the homemade stuff. Maybe you wouldn't, like if you've never had rhubarb pie, give it a try.
You in, Ned?
Rhubarb?
You in?
I like rhubarb.
And I think one of the most underrated things is a well-done Frito pie.
Yeah, I agree. We do it just like the state fair. So Texas chili in-house, put some queso on it, red chili, zhuzh it up. It's great.
Oh, that's great. 66 Diner. And you also got something going on February 14th. So you got any 2 customizable burger meals, any type, and a milkshake.
To share.
$30.
Absolutely. So 2 burger meals, you can get, just the standard burger, or you can get our blue cheeseburger, our 66 burger, and then whatever side you want, 2 of those meals and a full shake to share, $30.
Well, I'm sold. And I'm sure everyone listening right now is sold. Sweet Deal goes live on our website, 9 a.m., 66 Diner. $25 get you $50 worth of goodness from 66 Diner. Summer, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I
Coming
appreciate
in
it.
and dropping this sweet deal on us. Remember, sportsanimalabq.com at 9 a.m. today. Coming up next, former All-Pro NFL linebacker Chad Brown joins us. We're talking the Super Bowl. We're talking, maybe he knows the quarterback Ned James.
Maybe.
We'll find out. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
and act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico.
JJ Buck, Amory, our quarterback Ned James with you this morning. Our next guest was a standout linebacker on the Steelers defense in Super Bowl 30 against the Dallas Cowboys. He's a 2-time first-team All-Pro, a 3-time Pro Bowler. He was named to the Seattle Seahawks 35th anniversary team. You've heard him calling college football games on TV and radio broadcast. Chad Brown is now joining us on the opening drive to talk some football. Chad, good morning. How you doing?
I am fantastic. Happy Friday to you guys.
Happy Friday to you as well, Chad. Appreciate your time, your expertise, hanging out with us as we're getting ready for the Super Bowl next week. And we've been having a fun conversation this morning about the evolution of the quarterback position and the matchup we're seeing versus Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, and how the narrative on Jalen Hurts coming out was he was just a running quarterback from college, but he's been so much more than that. As a defender yourself, when you see these mobile quarterbacks, what goes through your mind trying to defend, trying to stop these guys?
There's 2 thoughts. As a linebacker, I wanted to hit everybody who I tackled as hard as I possibly could. But I always had a little extra for a quarterback because you recognize how important they are to the opposing team's offense. You want to give them a little something extra to discourage them from running the football. Now, at the same time, as much as I wanted to do that, those guys, they certainly caused a lot of frustration for me defensively. As a pass rusher, you beat your offensive tackle, you got the quarterback in your sights, he's athletic enough to escape the pocket. That's frustrating and tiring. And then defensively, as you've heard almost every announcer talk about in the last couple of years, defenses are not built for the quarterback to be a runner. They put such stress on our defensive rules and our defensive assignments when it's pure 11-on-11 football. And that's why more and more of these quarterbacks who were considered running quarterbacks in college now are coming into the NFL and having success because even NFL defenses struggle when dealing with that kind of offense.
Hey, Chad, I'm just trying to find out who was your favorite coach as an NFL player. Now, be careful here. Don't mess this one up.
there is something to be said for all the head coaches I played under. Bill Cowher, Dennis Erickson, Mike Holmgren, and Bill Belichick. Bill Cowher's in the Hall of Fame. Clearly, Bill Belichick will make it into the Hall of Fame. I know Mike has been nominated. Dennis Erickson probably will not make the NFL Hall of Fame, but at some point may make the college football Hall of Fame. So all guys are all Hall of Famers in their own rights. They all brought something very different to the head coaching position.
But I want you to be more. I want you to
go
be a little bit more specific, Chad. I want you position coach. I want you to go to position coaches. Which position coach was your favorite?
You know what?
Be careful.
I love
Think
them
now.
all. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Marvin Lewis. My first 3 years in the league, Marvin was my linebacker coach, and Marvin taught me so much just about the technique of being a linebacker. He and LeVon Kirkland would have to stay after practice almost every single day. He would let Greg Lloyd and Kevin Green go because they were already all pros and Pro Bowlers. He worked with LeVon and I and helped turn us into the players that we once that we became. And just to boil it down to one guy seems unfair because I was blessed with so many great coaches in my career.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed too because for some reason, even though Marvin Lewis coached here at the University of New Mexico, all his kids were born here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I thought, the guy who probably was the most instrumental while you were in Seattle, by the name of Ned James, which this is speaking right now, would have been one of those coaches. But apparently I didn't do enough, even though I did a lot for you. I'm just disappointed that I didn't even make. And of all people, Marvin Lewis, I talk to Marvin all the time. I would think a guy who was from California like me, the John Muir, who I got to deal with, all these John Muir High School, Pasadena. I was with Anthony Miller for about 2 weeks last week. All I hear about is how many turkey tussles you guys have won over PHS. I would have thought I would have came at least close to Marvin Lewis as far as one of your favorites. I didn't say the best. I said the favorite. And so, but hey, Chad, this is Ned James, man. I'm glad you're on the show. I'm doing the show this week, so I told him to set you up because I knew we went back a ways, and it was going to be great to talk to you because I know, from our history in Seattle with Dennis, and Dennis is I don't know if you knew Christensen, his nephew is the special teams coordinator here at the University of New Mexico, and I talk to Marvin all the time. Marvin's got a lot of property and stuff out here in Albuquerque, and he just loves Albuquerque and New Mexico. But it's just good to hear your voice, man. I'm glad you're still in Colorado doing your thing, and it's a pleasure to see you on our show today. Well, great talking to you as well, Ned. I certainly saw the rundown, and I saw the name, and I thought, no way. There's just no way. Why would Ned be doing radio in New Mexico? Come to find out, here you are. And, of course, you're my favorite, man. You were instrumental. There's no way I become a Pro Bowler and All-Pro without you, Ned. So, man.
Thank you for pouring yourself into me.
There you go. There you go now. Well, good.
We're joined by Chad Brown, former All-Pro NFL linebacker on the opening drive. A few more minutes, chopping it up. And, Chad, you look at your career, and you mentioned Bill Belichick, New England Patriots. You had the opportunity to spend a couple seasons towards the end of your career in New England. What was it like in that locker room, and especially this week? Tom Brady finally announcing that he is retiring from the NFL. What do you remember about that environment with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick?
That was the greatest pure football environment I had ever been in. Ned talked about my high school, John Muir High School. We won 32 games in a row. He's a tremendous coach. I won a national championship at the University of Colorado. I was on a Steelers team that went to the Super Bowl. But all those football environments, I won't say they pale in comparison, but they fall a little bit short to what I was able to experience in New England. Now, I was in my 13th year in the league, so I was able to come in with a perspective that, I'd been all these places and I'd done these things and had some personal accolades. But that football environment, the dedication from the players and from the coaches, I had never seen anything quite like that before. And I will say I learned more about football and some of the details and nuances in that 1 year, in year 13, than I learned maybe in the 12 years before that. It was just small, little detailed stuff that, as you know, football is a game of inches. And if you can steal 5 yards here or steal 5 yards there, those things start to add up for you. So that Patriots environment was incredible. It wasn't always fun. It was certainly very stressful. When you walk into a team meeting and you've got notes written down on your hand because you know Bill Belichick may call on you during that team meeting, that's not exactly a fun, loose environment. It's always stressful. There's a high level of accountability, but the pure football-ness of it was certainly a joy to be around.
A couple more minutes. Chad Brown joining us here on the opening drive. And you mentioned that veteran coach, and you were a veteran player at that point in time, but still it helped you. One of the things we just saw was Denver acquire Sean Payton to come in with Russell Wilson. How do you think that relationship is going to work? And for the Denver Broncos, is this on Russell Wilson, or is this Sean Payton needing to retool Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson needs to get some work done. And fix may not be the best word for it. But this last year, I saw a guy who had lost a step, maybe a step and a half, and some of the things that he prided himself on early in his career began to disappear. His ability to deliver a deep ball, his footwork that allowed him to throw those deep balls was lacking. Some of the decision-making was poor. He wasn't taking what the defense was giving him. He was trying to force balls into defensive team meetings and getting those balls intercepted. But there's a lot of issues with Russell Wilson. So of all the potential coaches for the Broncos, Quinn, Jim Harbaugh, Nico Ryan, Sean Payton may be the best suited to address the issues of Russell Wilson and help fix those from a schematic standpoint. And at this point, this leaves Russell Wilson absolutely no excuse. This is really going to be a huge year for Russell Wilson because all this is going to fall on his shoulders. Sean Payton has proven he can build tremendous offenses. I think in his 15 years in New Orleans, he was the number one offense 4 years. There were 7 or 8 times that he was also in the top 10 offensively. So it's all about getting Russell Wilson going. This team has enough pieces with young wide receivers, the talented young tight end. If the running back able to come back from the ACL injury, one of the more physical runners in the league. That defense has been good despite the Broncos' offensive woes the last 4 or 5 years. They do need to address the offensive line, but they can get that offensive line rolling and get Russell Wilson playing similar, not the same level, but just similar to where he was in Seattle. And suddenly, it's not 5-12, it's maybe 12-5 from the record standpoint.
Okay, last question real quick. Every John Muir guy thinks they've won every turkey tussle. Were you undefeated in the turkey? I know we got Jock Vaughn from John Muir. We've got Anthony Miller. Were you undefeated in the turkey tussle versus PHS?
Okay, just to give a little background, the turkey tussle that Ned is referring to is a traditional game every year we play between my high school, John Muir High School, and Pasadena High School in Pasadena, California, and we get a chance to play in the Rose Bowl. So for a kid growing up in Pasadena, you drive past the Rose Bowl, you see the Rose Bowl, but the only way to step foot on the grass in the Rose Bowl is to play in this turkey tussle game, called the turkey tussle because obviously it's played around Thanksgiving. We play for the Victory Bell, and I am 3-0 in the turkey tussle, and I am 6-0 going against the Pasadena Bulldogs. I never lost to those dudes not one time, man. I upheld the honor of John Muir High School and kept the Victory Bell in the main hallway in the A building for all 4 years I was there.
There's several PHS guys listening to this show, so they'll be happy to hear that. I'm sure they're going to call in and dispute that, but that'll be all right.
All right, Chad, as we let
That's
you
the fact, man.
Yeah, Chad, as we let you go, man, you're a great analyst. You got great football knowledge that you shared with us, but where did this passion for animals come from? Because Ned was talking to me about it, and you have a very big-time company shipping reptiles around the country. Where did that come from?
Growing up in Southern California, snakes and frogs and lizards and all those things were always in my backyard. And as a kid, I was pretty shy. I had a stutter. So in some ways, I was a little bit more relational and related to animals better than I did to people. It's one of the reasons why I love football, because you got the chance to put a uniform on and put a helmet on. So it wasn't me. It was my alter ego, the superhero version of Chad. And this passion for animals kind of is an offshoot of being shy and kind of relating to those animals better. So I've always had this passion for animals, and I got to the University of Colorado my freshman year. Someone had a snake for sale. I bought that snake, and then I met a friend at a local pet store who was breeding snakes and reptiles and selling them. And I thought, this is cool. I can make some money breeding these animals, sell them to students in the local pet stores, and the NCAA will never find out because you're not allowed to have a job as a scholarship athlete during the school year. So every spring I would put some money in my pocket, selling my babies to the local students. And once I got in the NFL, I tried to build a business. I built Pro Exotics Reptiles. We were one of the largest breeders and seller of reptiles on the planet. Produced several thousand baby reptiles every single year, sold them all over the globe. But I had a fire in late 2011 that kind of ended that commercial reptile breeding business. But about a year before that, I had started to help other reptile breeders ship their animals, because that's one of the more difficult parts of the business, is making these relationships with FedEx and UPS and Southwest Airlines and all that, and learning the ins and outs of the shipping process. So I streamlined the process, built a company and a website to allow other animal breeders and even a military mom who needs to get little Timmy's turtle from Tennessee to Texas to simplify and streamline that process. And now every year I do a couple 100,000 shipments. I ship over 1,000 reptiles, generally every single week, 1,000 shipments of reptiles. So it's been a fun ride growing Ship Your Reptiles. And now I also have Ship Your Aquatics as well for people who are into fish and corals and aquatic plants and things like that. And I've also got Ship Your Invertebrates for people who are into tarantulas and scorpions and bugs and all those kinds of things. So if it's live and you can't show up with it in your hands to your local FedEx and ship it to your friend, there's a chance I can help you out with that.
Chad, that's unbelievable. The comments, the insight, it was awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning, man. Appreciate it.
Well, happy Friday to you guys. Enjoy the weekend.
Yes, Chad Brown, former All-Pro NFL linebacker, just blowing your mind with the business at the end of it, but some great insight there as well when it comes to football. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical.
He remembered Ned James. Ned was a little sad.
Had to guilt
Had to
him into- yeah.
former All-Pro NFL linebacker Chad Brown into remembering that you coached him in Seattle.
Yeah.
You're a quarterback, but you were coaching linebackers.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah. It was funny because he said, I saw the name on the run-up, and I thought, that can't be the same Ned James. There's hundreds of Ned Jameses out there.
Chad Brown, appreciate the time. Really good stuff there. And it's fascinating listening to players and him at that point in time when he went to the Patriots. He was, when you look, he came into the NFL in 93. He went to the Patriots in 05.
Yeah.
So he's a 12-year NFL veteran at that point in time.
Yeah.
And he said that environment still changed him in the way he viewed things. And there's a
I thought
reason
that was interesting,
that when Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, we talk about them, they go hand in hand.
Right.
Like, Tom Brady's probably not who he is without Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick is not considered the greatest of all time without Tom Brady.
In some
The way it
people's
is.
eyes, yeah. Yeah. And that's, you can make that, kind of comparison. But at the same time, Chad, his, talking about Bill Cowher and Dennis Erickson was interesting because I didn't expect him to put Dennis in there with Bill Cowher, who he had gone to a Super Bowl with. But I just remember we had made him like the highest paid player at that time on defense in the NFL when he came, because we had the richest guy in the world, well, the fifth richest guy in the world at the time, Paul Allen from Microsoft, who had just bought the team at that time. And I had switched from offensive, coaching wide receivers to coaching linebackers. And it was really exciting. I really wanted to do that because I really wanted to, have both sides of the ball. But I had coached on defense before, and I always liked defensive players better. It's less
Why do you
ego.
like, so less ego is involved because there's not a football
'cause
involved?
There's not a ball involved. Because everybody, and it was interesting when I coached on offense in Seattle, because that's where that all came into play. Because Chris Warren was a 1,500-yard rusher every year, and then Dennis comes to the team and he wants to get traded because he's like, well, you guys are going to need me because you're going to be throwing the ball, and then games where we would run the ball a lot. Brian Blades would come in and say, well, you're not going to throw me the ball. And so, and then we throw the ball a lot, and then Chris Warren would come in and says, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. I want to be traded. So it's just, that's how it is with offensive guys. When I coached on defense, Chad and those guys were just great. We had a great linebacker crew. And the one thing I remembered about Chad was we had a mini camp. We had this rookie offensive lineman that Howard Mudd, who's one of the great offensive line coached 10 years with Peyton Manning, those guys in Indianapolis, one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, didn't want this offensive lineman. And so we're out. It's before minicamp, they called it back then, OTAs or whatever they call it now. And so they were practicing and they were doing one-on-one drills. And Chad was the highest paid defensive player, and he was a pass rusher too. Played linebacker, but he was in that 3-4 scheme with Pittsburgh. So he played, pass rushing defensive end. So he's the highest paid player. So we have this rookie offensive lineman. So we drafted him like the 6th overall pick because we traded Rick Meyer and got a first-round pick from the Bears. And so we said, let's see if this rookie can really play. We're gonna put him up against Chad. We're paying him all this money to play tackle. And so he goes out and Chad tries to rush him, and the guy blocks him with one hand. Well, that guy who Howard Mudd didn't think he was really smart, couldn't play, happened to be Walter Jones, Hall of Famer. And so it was his rookie year. And I always remember it because Chad was such a great player at that time. He was the top defensive player. We gave him all this money. Comes in from Pittsburgh, from the Steelers, Super Bowl. And Walter Jones is blocking him like he's blocking one of his kids in the backyard playing. It's like, and it was like, I think we got something good here. But Dennis Erickson trumped, when you're in those draft meetings, all kinds of, people are speaking and talking. There's all kinds of influence. Who has the power? Is it the GM? Is it the owner? Is it the coach? And at that point, Dennis had just taken over as the head coach, and he was going to make sure he had control over who was coming on the team. And we ended up taking Walter Jones because Dennis had played against him when he was coaching at the University of Miami, and Walter was at Florida State. And he said, this guy is the most incredible offensive lineman I've ever seen. And Howard Mudd was like, you dumb college guys, you don't know anything about the NFL.
And that's part of the process. Yeah. That the inexact science of it all, where you do have one of the best offensive line coaches ever, Howard Mudd. And then he looks at a Hall of Famer and is like, nah.
Yeah.
You can get it wrong.
That's right. That's why I love that movie Moneyball. When Brad Pitt tells that old senior scout, He says, I've seen you sit in those living rooms and tell those parents, you know why your son's going to be great? Because I know I've seen people like your son and they've been great. And you say you know, but you don't know. You just don't know. Because guys, you can maybe think a guy's going to be great and then all of a sudden he's a bust, but you just never know.
That's great. Appreciate Chad Brown joining us this morning. And I get so many more conversations with Radio Row interviews popping next week. Super Bowl 57, the boys, Tube and On are going to be out there. So appreciate Chad Brown joining us here on The Opening Drive. Coming up next, Lobo basketball has some time to sit on that Utah State loss, but refocus for Nevada. Steve Alford and the Wolfpack come to town Tuesday night. We'll talk with Jeff Grammer from the Albuquerque Journal about the Lobos, Mountain West basketball. Coming up on the other side, it is The Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers, they maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is The Opening Drive with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, A. Marie Castillo, and J.J. Bach.
We got a first-place battle in the Mountain West tonight. Boise State at San Diego State. 3-game slate. Lobos, little mini bye, Wednesday to Tuesday, as they got to refocus after that loss at Utah State. It was the first time all season for Lobo basketball where you look and it was bad basketball. Worst 10 minutes of the season for the Lobos. In the first 10 minutes, struggled to get back into the game. Utah State was fantastic in the D. Glenn Smith spectrum. And then you're looking at the Mountain West standings. And the Lobos are a good basketball team. I still think that they have a high ceiling this season, but they're 6-4. They're in 5th place. They're looking up at a lot of teams right now in the matchup on Tuesday night. Steve Alford and Nevada back in town, 8:30. The place is going to be popping. Another late night in the Mountain West, but the basketball has been worth it. It's Opening Drive. JJ Buck, Amory, our quarterback, Ned James with you this morning. Thank you for joining us on this Friday. So Lobos 19-4 overall, 6-4 in conference play. Still some big games down the stretch. Nevada at Boise State, San Diego State comes in. Those are the big-time resume builders. And then you have the games, Air Force, Wyoming, San Jose State, Fresno State, Colorado State. Can't lose those games. You just can't at this point in time for the Lobos, especially when we're talking about at-large resume and making sure that you have that little margin for error where you don't have to win a conference tournament in Las Vegas. It's time to talk with the voice. I'm going to call him the voice of the Mountain West Conference because the man is doing everything these days, not just writing for the Albuquerque Journal, covering the Lobos, but he's talking about the Lobos and the Mountain West Conference. Jeff Grammer with us this morning. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I don't know about the voice, man. There's a reason I'm in print. I can't talk. I got a face for radio and a voice for print, so that's why I'm in the newspaper biz.
No, but what you're doing this year, the added coverage, the pregame videos, people are paying attention, and you obviously got to notice the buzz with Lobo basketball right now, just the clicks that fans are back in with this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's funny, after a loss, this was their first, a couple notes about Wednesday, and it's not excusing it. I mean, they got beat up pretty good Wednesday night in Logan, and there's no getting around that. That was the first time. The thing I thought was interesting was that it was the first time this year that they didn't either win, which they've done 19 times, or lose a game that they were still in the final minute. And they lost a couple 4-point games, so I won't say they were one games, but they were in every game this year, either winning or in it in the final minute. And to make it to February, I was like, wait a minute, how does that compare to some of the other teams in the digit loss of the season for the Lobos, right? Again, they got beat up Wednesday. There's no excusing what happened on Wednesday. But it's crazy to me to think of the past 7, 8, even before that, 9, 10 years, even Alford's last year, I remember them just getting the doors blown off them at San Diego State. One of the worst offensive performances in Lobo modern history was Steve Alford's year when they were a 3 seed and got ranked in the top 10 at one point. And then the Craig Neal era, they always had games, certainly during the Paul Weir era, they always had games where if the opposing team got off to a hot start or things just weren't working that night, like they weren't on Wednesday, they got the doors just kind of blown off them. There were a lot of kind of give-up games in the past decade, and that includes some of the good teams when Steve was still here and Craig was coaching that first year. They got beat up pretty good sometimes, and it made me realize on Wednesday that this is the first time we've seen that really this year, and they didn't really wave the white flag. I mean, they did have it cut to single digits in the second half, ended up losing by 11, but for that to make it to February for their first kind of real stinker of a game, and then to look at the rest of the Mountain West and see that all of them have had at least 2 of those so far this year, and some of them have had 6, 7, 8. It kind of reminded me that this is a veteran group, that the experience on this team it travels. You know, everyone talks about defense wins championships or defense travels or this or that. Well, they didn't play much defense Wednesday, but what does travel is experience and leadership. And I think some of these guys have that, you know, like Morris and Josiah. I talked to the 2 centers, the 2 forwards anyway, after the game, and neither one of them even remotely tried to make an excuse. And Jamal Mashburn's that way every time I talk to him. Like, when they get beat up, they know they got beat up and they got work to do. And that's why I still think this team's going to be in it. You know, they're in 5th place right now, but they're going to be in it till the end. And it's been fun to cover, especially after these last 7 or 8 years.
Well, yeah, Jeff, you answered my question. I was getting ready to ask you that exact question. But what I'll ask you instead is, what do you see as some of the weaknesses of this team? I mean, you described exactly what I felt about just watching their practices. I go over and watch their practices from time to time. It is what I see is basically what you're describing, how they are and who they are as players. But, you know, as a weakness, what do you see it's going to be a little bit of a stumbling block for this team to kind of get over that hump and maybe win, you know, several games in the Mountain West Conference tournament and maybe win a game in the NCAA tournament?
I think there's a couple things that really stand out to me. First of all, I'll go with the offensive side first, because I do still think overall they're much better on offense, but their weaknesses, look, I know KJ Jenkins can shoot, and I know Jalen House gets hot where he'll hit a couple threes, you know, kind of catch the opponents off guard and fire up a quick 3 and hit them. I know those 2 guys can get hot, but they haven't this year for any extended period of time. The fact that they don't put up a lot of threes, and you know, they would tell you, Richard Pitino would tell you, well, it's because we're always going inside with the ball. Well, there are a lot of teams in this country that play inside out, and there's a lot of teams in this country that go inside because they have good big men, but they still shoot a whole lot more three-pointers than the Lobos do. The Lobos don't shoot a lot of threes because this is a team without shooters. KJ Jenkins is really the only exception. The percentages will tell you that Jalen House is a good three-point shooter and Jamal Mashburn can shoot the 3. But the reality is that this team is not built for outside shooting. So making comebacks sometimes is a little bit hard. When you spread open the court like Utah State does, and they can hit so many threes, you can see the lanes that you can just drive and slash in. If the Lobos were a better three-point shooting team, can you imagine the driving lanes that Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr. would have? As it is right now, because they're not a threat to shoot, teams continue to take a step, you know, a half a step closer in, and more they're just kind of collapsing in and basically playing the kind of defense that is going to collapse on Josiah, Alec, and Morris Daisy. So it's making it harder on their bigs to score inside. It's making it harder on Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr. to drive inside. And so even Mashburn, who can hit the mid-range jumper, they're able to defend him unless he's shooting basically just a few feet inside the three-point line, because there's no real reason to defend the Lobos anymore on the three-point line. And so offensively, I think their weakness is they need to start hitting some more threes than they do. I would say defensively, their weakness is pretty much overall their defense. They do lose focus. Now, I don't know if that's because they focus so much energy on the offensive end, because they've shown that they're statistically a much improved team. They weren't on Wednesday, but statistically they're a much improved team over last year, like 150, 160 spots in the overall rankings on KenPom.com, and their defensive efficiency. They're much better. But when it really comes down to it, are they going to get a stop against a really good offensive team? They haven't really shown that. One of their best games was against St. Mary's. They did okay defensively there, obviously, but that was back November 30th now. One of their best games in league play was a road win at San Diego State, who I still think isn't exactly the best offensive team in the league. So I just think that they're really going to have to start showing that they can put together stops, consecutive possessions, 3 or 4 possessions at a time, because they're kind of reverting into what they were last year, which was a team that was okay getting into shootouts. You don't want to be a team that just has to outscore the opponent and let them score whatever they want because you trust your offense so much. You're going to have to start coming up with consecutive stops, and late in games in particular.
Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal, joining us here on the opening drive. And to that point, Jeff, we were talking after the Utah State game, and I kind of feel like the Lobo team is, I compared it to a football team with a really good offense that has a bend but don't break defense. They put so much pressure on you offensively that they get that turnover, they force teams to maybe speed up and play certain ways that they don't. What's the feeling you get talking to other people around the league about this Lobo team and that defense? Do you get that sense that when they are clicking offensively, that's going to make them better defensively because teams are trying to chase the game?
So in general, talking to teams around the league, and I've talked with a lot of assistant coaches and just fans and media when I go to all these cities, the general consensus outside of the Albuquerque market is this about the Lobos. Their A game is probably the best in the league. That they can, at their best, beat anybody in this league, which they've shown basically. They have beat the two teams tied for first place right now. But the consistency is still the question. And that's what kind of I fall back on when it's sort of I guess a faith kind of thing. You kind of have to believe it's going to happen because they haven't yet shown it. Now, they showed it. They were the last team without a loss, so they actually showed some consistency with not having one of those hiccup and bad games like every other team in the country really had when they were the last team that was undefeated. But right now, the big question mark about them is how often are they going to be able to bring that A game? How often are they going to be able to have the good defense because they have great offense? Can they also couple that with good defense? Because what they've been doing a lot lately, I think, is good to great offense and average to okay defense. Even against Air Force, their defense wasn't awful overall, but that second half was pretty bad. Against Nevada, obviously it never got into the lead was never greater than 5 for either team, and it was pretty close, and Nevada's a really good team. But if you go back and look at that first half, they had so many defensive breakdowns. It was surprising to me that Nevada wasn't up by a whole lot more. So they've had some really bad halves of defense. And against Utah State, the first half showed that when they gave up 46 points, much better in the second half. But that was also against a Utah State team playing with the lead. So I do think that people around the league, that UNM's A game still might be the absolute best of any team in the league, but they just don't think that UNM can really be consistent. That's what's worrisome over a 3 games in 3 days kind of span in the Mountain West tournament.
Hey, Jeff, you got a few more minutes in you?
Absolutely.
I want to pick your brain on the Mountain West Conference and really what we're seeing from these top 5 teams. And then maybe, could it be 6 when we're looking at Las Vegas? It's Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal, joining us on the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Super Bowl is set, and so is your home for Super Bowl 57 on the radio. Listen to Two Men On.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Breaking down Senior Bowl film during the break. You're a junkie, man.
That's a love for football right there.
Ned James wants his Pro Bowl back. He's breaking down Senior Bowl film. But that's what he brings to the table. We got you covered. Whatever you want to talk about on the opening drive. JJ Buck-Avery, our quarterback, Ned James, here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Continuing our conversation with Jeff Grammer from the Albuquerque Journal. And Jeff, you look at the Mountain West right now. Top 5 teams, and then you got to throw in UNLV because it feels like they could beat anyone on any given night. We've already seen it to this point, them beating Nevada and New Mexico. Is there much of a separation between those teams at all, or is it really that up in the air right now?
So just the top 5, I do think there's still a little bit of a separation with the UNLV. I know they've been playing a lot better, and I do think they're going to probably pick somebody off down the stretch. They have, I think, 3 left against those top 5, not against UNM. UNM's done with both UNLV and Utah State at this point. I do think UNLV might pick one of those teams off. I think UNLV has some issues kind of consistently wise, so I'm not including them in the top tier. I do think that it is a defined top 5 that's going to get the buys at this point. And as far as separation goes, no, I really don't think there is. I think, I mentioned in that previous segment that I get the consensus that most people believe that at their A game, the Lobos might be the best. Now, it's the consistency factor, right? But if you're talking about these 5 teams at their A game, I would have told you going into this week that Utah State was the clear number 5, the bottom of that group. But it's hard to imagine that the team leading the nation in 3-point shooting can't beat anybody on a given night at their A game, because their A game is going to be firing up and hitting a whole lot of threes. So San Diego State at their A game, well, we know that history tells us that they can defend pretty well with their A game, and that they have a Matt Bradley and a Darian Trammell who can put up enough points. So their A game's pretty good too. If everybody's bringing it on a given night, it's hard for me to tell you which one of these teams probably isn't the best. I mean, Nevada's playing as good as anybody right now because they have the back-to-back weeks with top 25 wins and top, court storm kind of victories all at home. They haven't shown they can do that on the road yet. But the reality is, like, their A games for all 5 of these teams, that's what makes the league so fun to cover for me, is these A games, I think, are all kind of win a game in the NCAA tournament good. Now, in this conference, you can't assume they're going to win any games in the NCAA tournament, but at their best, all 5 of these teams are really, really good. They're not just kind of winning because the other team isn't playing well. For the most part, they're winning because these teams are pretty good, and on given nights, it's hard to win on opposing gyms. That's what makes that San Diego State win for the Lobos so valuable. They're the only one so far of those top 5 that have a road win among the top 5. They're the only ones that have so far been able to win in an opposing gym, because I think that experience and that factor where they don't let those things affect them so much. I don't know what affected them on Wednesday in Logan, Utah, but for the most part, they haven't let those kind of outside factors slow their game down. So I do think that the top 5 are pretty darn even.
Jeff, you talked a little bit about how UNLV's been a little inconsistent. I've lost some steak dinners and some golf because of UNLV, and Elijah Harkless's dad and I played together. And Fresno State, a good buddy of mine went to Fresno State, and I lost dinner and golf to him as well. Please tell me I can get my money back and my golfing back from those, not those 2 teams, but at least from Fresno, because we don't play UNLV again. Those 2 teams, even though they're not in that top 5, there are still teams that could knock off these teams that they're playing, because the Mountain West Conference is so good.
You've just been devastated by Lobo football and those 2 games.
Yes. It's tough when you get old and you have your friends' kids that are playing on these teams, so it's rough. But do you see, like, these top teams in the Mountain West, and we're thinking that we're going to get 5 teams in, do you see those teams that are outside really kind of derailing our chances of getting a bunch of teams in the NCAA tournament? Because the Elijah Harkses can put 25 on you, which I lost because I thought he would get under 20 points in the game against us, and he didn't. And the Fresno States, who beat us when we were undefeated, those kind of teams, can they kind of change the landscape of this conference?
Well, I would tell you right now that the only 2 teams I think that could really, with just one more loss, could really derail one of those top 5 teams from an NCAA or at worst, an NIT bid. I do think the league only gets 4 teams in, but maybe the 5th. They're in that realm. So the only 2 teams I think that can really hurt them are Wyoming and Colorado State. That's not to say I don't think any one of those bottom tier teams can't win. I think Air Force gave 2 teams in a row everything they could handle in San Diego State and then New Mexico. So I'm sorry, 3 teams in a row, because then they almost did it to Boise State the other night too. So I think Air Force could pick somebody off. I think San Jose State can pick one of the top teams off. I think all those wins are out there. But as you're looking at right now, UNM, of those top 5, they have the worst league loss, and that was to Fresno State. But the thing is, none of those losses are really going to add up and hurt anybody that much, except maybe the Fresno State, maybe the Wyoming, and Colorado State's dropping pretty quick too, because they haven't been winning very much. So those 3 might hurt in terms of computer rankings. But the reality is, even if you get picked off by Air Force or San Jose State or UNLV, those losses just aren't hurting the Mountain West this year like they have in years past. And that's why we're into February, and they still have 5 teams in the top 40 of the net rankings. That hasn't happened in a long time in this league.
Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal, with us. And Jeff, you also are an AP voter, and I know you pay attention to college basketball as a whole. And you look at the field right now, I think at some point in time every year we're probably like, oh, man, this is wide open, this is wide open. But it doesn't feel like there is a truly great dominant team. The Big 12 is awesome. We're seeing the depth in other places. What is your sense of just overall where the game is right now heading towards March?
Yeah, look, I think it's fun. I think it's going to be a great tournament, because I would be shocked if this year you don't see a couple of the non-blue bloods make a decent run. And I'm not just talking like one Butler to the Final Four kind of run. I'm talking like 3 or 4 teams that you just don't talk about every year, finally making it through to the Sweet 16 or something like that. Maybe the Final Four ends up being all blue bloods. I don't know that that'll happen, but it could. But I'm just talking about like kind of breaking into that consistent top 16 mode is what, you know, some of these non-major programs need to start doing. I do think a Purdue is a team that's going to be tough to beat because they might have, right now they have the player of the year in the center. I do think Houston's going to be fine. I think some of those top teams, if you look at like the Ken Pom rankings or any computer ranking or the AP top 25, I think most of those teams probably aren't going to get picked off early. But once you get down to even like 6, 7, 8, like outside of the top 4 or 5 teams in the country, everybody's vulnerable from the first day of that NCAA tournament on, and some of those are going to happen. You know, I do think that, you know, Florida Atlantic, if they get in, I know UAB knocked them off last night, but if the Florida Atlantic gets hot, they're going to make a run to the Sweet 16. I do think a Mountain West team this year, finally, this destroys all my credibility, but I do think a Mountain West team actually makes it to the Sweet 16 this year, and it depends on matchups and that kind of stuff. But I think that these 5 Mountain West teams have kind of the ingredients that if the matchups line up right, if you get a team that can't defend the 3, Utah State might pick a couple teams off. I do think because of the guard play, the Lobos might be able to win a game in the NCAA tournament. I just see this year that the non-power conferences, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot in, by the way. I don't think that outside of the Mountain West, you're going to see much from Conference USA, from the Atlantic 10. I don't think you're going to see a lot of non-power conference schools get in this year. But I do think non-traditional schools that do get in have a really good chance of winning some games.
All right, lastly for you, Jeff. Tuesday night, 8:30, midweek game, but it's Steve Alford. It's Nevada. What are you expecting from the Pit in that game on Tuesday night?
Well, the Pit's going to be, you know, loud, obnoxious, crazy, the kind of environment you love, right, for just to be a part of. And it's one I've seen now at every opposing gym, too. The Lobos, you know, you want to test how good a team really is. See what the opposing fan bases do. See how they hype up the game when they're coming to town. San Diego State was aggressive and intense. Utah State was their best student turnout of the entire season, their second best attendance of the season, but they had a student kind of sellout type of game, Spectrum Magic they called it. Same at Nevada, they rushed the court. So when the opposing team says this is such an important game that we really, really need you guys, that's how I know the Lobos are doing pretty good. And I think that Tuesday night, just because of the history of the coaches, I do think it's going to be one of those type of environments for the Pit. Nevada doesn't travel as well. If you look at what they've done at Boise State and San Diego State, they weren't very competitive in either of those games. I expect this one to be competitive, but I do think the Lobos can get the revenge. I mean, it was a double overtime game. It was obviously basically pretty even in Reno. I just think that Nevada's best weapon, well, they have 2 of them. Will Baker kind of tore up the Lobos inside, but I actually think their best weapon is Keaton Blackshear is a big guard, and the Lobos are vulnerable when at the guards. They have 4 guards that play in their rotation that are 6'2" or shorter, and I think that's what could hurt them. If they lose to Nevada, it's because Keaton Blackshear is a big guard that the Lobo guards just don't have the size to contend with.
Jeff, man, always appreciate the time. Great stuff. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thanks, guys.
Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal, joining us on the opening drive. At some point in time, are people just going to realize Philadelphia is good and stop throwing shade at their quarterback, at their head coach now? Deal with it. They are better than you. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
And with all this Lobo talk and a big game coming up this Tuesday, February 7th against Nevada, I have the perfect place for you to go before the game, and I'm talking about 377 Brewery. I cannot get enough of this place. It's my favorite brewery in Albuquerque. I've been telling about it to you guys daily. 377 Brewery. It's located right by the Pit. It's very convenient. It's locally owned by Fred and Cliff. They are awesome. Their staff is awesome. It's located on the northwest corner of Yale and Gibson. And why should you go there before your game? Not only is it conveniently located right by the Pit and they can get you in and out before the game, we are hosting pre-game parties. We are getting the community together, Lobo fans together before every home game. 2.5 hours before the game, again, get you in and out. We have food specials. This is what makes the event special. They have food specials, and it's amazing food. It's almost 100% scratch kitchen, so you are getting everything fresh, from the wings to the green chili cheeseburgers to the fish and chips. They have drink specials. They've been making these cute cherry limeade Lobo drinks. They're very cute, and we have prize giveaways, from gift cards to 377, merchandise from 377, future Lobo tickets, and we're giving away chocolate this coming Tuesday for giveaways in the spirit of it being Valentine's Day coming up. But again, come to 377. It's your go-to spot. It's local. Support local for all your pregame Albuquerque sports. 377 Brewery at Yale and Gibson, or check them out at 377brewery.com.
Whether you call it the Kelsey.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit.
Deal with it. The Philadelphia Eagles are a good football team, and there are a lot of sour apples out there. First, it was Micah Parsons calling Jalen Hurts a system quarterback. Because, of course, Jalen Hurts is going to perform that way. He's on a really good roster. Well, then Brock Purdy is the system quarterback. Deal with it. Yes, this roster is good, but it doesn't mean the quarterback, it doesn't mean the head coach aren't good as well. There's just so much shade being thrown at the Philadelphia Eagles by people that, guess what? That did not beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
That are at home fishing.
That are at home. That are watching the Super Bowl. But yet they do not want to give the Eagles the credit they deserve.
That's true.
For being the best team in the NFC. Yeah, we can put an asterisk by the NFC Championship game. That's fine. Because of what happened with the 49ers. That's a giant what if. They did not have a quarterback left.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen. But up until that point, the Eagles were the best football team in the NFL. JJ Buck, Amory, our quarterback Ned James with you. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. So the newest addition to the Let's Throw Shade at the Eagles fan club, it's New York Giants safety Julian Love, who said of Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni, quote, he's in for a free ride right now because of how talented Philadelphia is. So first it was Jalen Hurts is just a system guy, of course. He's doing that. Look at the talent. Now it's the head coach isn't any good. Look at the talent. To me, it kind of screams all those pieces are really good because they are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And there's 3 teams from that conference that are in.
They went to the playoffs.
They went to the playoffs. So, I mean, everybody thinks they're good, until they get beat. And a little bit, just so people understand, with any team, I mean, sure, you've got really great coaches, you got really great cultures and teams and players and all that. But you need a little luck too. You got to have a little luck. These injuries, some of them are fluke injuries. Sometimes you get, games where, there's weather, you're not prepared. All those things come into play, and teams get wins as a result of them. So, the Philadelphia Eagles, sure, they may have had some luck, but it ain't all luck. At the end of the day, they play, they coach, they do all the same things your team does. They just won more games than you did.
So Julian Love, the Giants safety, doubled back down yesterday on Twitter saying he's not wrong about his opinion. He added, Philly fans sure don't like this one, but I'm not wrong. This is a players' league, and Philadelphia has dogs on the roster, top to bottom. It's no mystery why they're in this position. They're very good. But to keep discrediting Jalen Hurts, that players want to do, to throw shit at Nick Sirianni, what are we doing here?
Yeah, what does that mean? It's a players' league. So you mean the players should be able to pick the players, they should be able to coach the players, they should be able to own the players. I mean,
he added, because he did the initial interview on NFL Network, Good Morning Football, and he said all y'all could coach this team. But right now, if it was
all y'all can,
Amory, what you want to be defensive?
Just because you play Madden doesn't mean you can coach.
Where would you go?
Oh, I'd want to be defense.
So we got Amory, defensive coordinator. Ned James,
special teams coordinator.
Ooh,
special teams quarterback coach. I'll be the head coach.
Yeah.
And
you're going to be the head coach?
Yeah, well, if it's the 3 of us.
No, I like it. I like it.
Ned James, OC,
I don't want to be.
I don't want. You got the defense.
I don't want to be head
I'll
coach.
just be the head coach. I'll just say 4th and 3 on our own 30. We're going for it. Like we're just going. We're Brandon Staleying this all day, every day.
I don't want to Brandon Staley
No field goal
anything.
kickers on the roster. Sorry, Ned, special teams coordinator.
Okay.
We're just.
Can we not be Brandon Staley? Can we not?
But we have the Eagles roster, so that means we should go to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah, but let's not be Brandon Staley.
Okay, I'll listen. I'll take input from you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll listen.
Well,
so that's what he's saying.
Yeah, and that's what happens sometimes with players. They have this misconception that it's all them, and it's not. It is fascinating because players are typically that's
you need
everywhere.
The Jimmy and the Joes.
Yeah, but typically players are. It's easier to coach them when you lose a game. When you win, it's all them. When you lose, it's the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason that they're saying this is because Philadelphia's winning. So obviously it's because of me. He's not technically saying it's that the coaches don't really matter. What he's saying is that he matters more than any of those coaches. And that's what players typically will say. And coaches are, in defensive players, coaches will say the same thing. If I had better players, maybe I would have been in the Super Bowl. I'm sure Brian Daboll in New York is saying, hey, if I had a better safety than you, I might be in the Super Bowl, or I might be playing the conference championship game.
Didn't we just see the Eagles blow out the Giants?
Yeah.
Didn't that just happen in the playoffs?
Yes, it did. And it was because of the safety. And that's what the coaches would say. A coach would say it's because I need better players. And players will always tell you, if I had, the culture of the Patriots, or I had some team that, is in the Super Bowl all the time, the Kansas City Chiefs culture, I would be winning as well. So, you just have to take all this with a grain of salt, and, you just have to say, hey, look, you just didn't. The only reason why you're not in the Super Bowl is because you just weren't good enough. And people have a hard time admitting to their faults of not being quite good enough.
Nick Sirianni's done a pretty good job because you still have to be a manager of said talent.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have seen time and time again, whether we're talking about the NFL, the NBA, that talented teams fall short. You have to be able to manage talent. You have to be able to motivate, put players in position to succeed. Nick Sirianni and his staff has done that. Jalen Hurts is so much more than just a system quarterback. Every quarterback needs a good system to play in. That's why there's coordinators. That's why they call plays. Talent stands out. There's a whole lot of people that want to throw shade at Philadelphia, but the thing we know is they're in the Super Bowl, and there's two teams, Kansas City and Philadelphia, and everyone else is going to sit back, stuff their face with nachos, and watch them play that game.
Yeah.
Next Sunday.
And there's a reason why you're watching. You just weren't quite good enough. And to say that to yourself is hard. I mean, I'm sure there's people listening to me right now, and they're getting ready to go into work, and they're saying, I should, be the manager of the company when they have to be an employee. And the reason why you're not the manager is you're just not quite good enough. That's why you're just an assistant.
You are good enough.
You're just working. You may be good enough.
You are. You know what? Listen to me.
You
Don't
are
listen
special.
to that, James. You are good enough.
That's what's wrong with young people. They always they don't want to work for somebody. They want to be the boss when they walk in.
Yeah.
When you're young,
Ding,
you
ding,
need
ding.
to learn how to. You need to learn how to be a
Didn't
team
I just
player.
say I'm going to be the head coach? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Who's going to be in their prime? One potential Hall of Fame quarterback thinks that this quarterback is ready in his 30s to hit his prime time NFL career. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is Boomer.
Nelson, he's got 3 fouls, so he doesn't really want to be getting the ball.
The dagger. That's
Gomez!
Inside.
Hochschild gives it up. Shot is up. Oh! Ball goes inside to Duke, guarded by Trujillo. Eli with the tip and the finish. Schermerhorn on the drive. Yes, strong.
She's gonna got numbers.
1 second. She slips it in. Just a. Still some time. Montoya, plenty of room. Yes. Wide open long ball for Jason Montoya. Against the screen, ball fake, but rejected. Oh, rejects it. Quickly, or if they hold for the final. Wyckoff, yes, count the basket. A chance at a three-point play for Wyckoff, and a free throw is coming up.
Catch and shoot.
E-Hill, give it to the hot hand. Why not?
What happened to the boys? And oh boy.
I guess they knew about it. One more.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier.
The one former NFL quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback, I will say, thinks that Russell Wilson is set up to enter his prime with Sean Payton as his head coach. It's opening drive. JJ Buck-Amory, our quarterback, Ned James, thank you for joining us this Friday morning. We appreciate you, and you can be the best. Think about that. Don't listen to Ned James. You can be the best.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
But it is all about self-reflection and learning, too. Yes. There's a lot of stuff we can learn, and we've learned a lot this morning on the opening drive, but we're talking about Drew Brees. So you know Drew Brees is going to have high praise for his guy, Sean Payton. But Drew Brees told ESPN, quote, "To me, this is set up to be Russell Wilson's prime, especially with Sean Payton and the system that's going to be built around him. This is a great opportunity for Russell Wilson." And we saw last year things just look off. Nathaniel Hackett and the offense, there was not a confidence in him. Russell Wilson did not play good football. I think that there's an element of the Broncos' offense. The wide receivers have been hurt. Cortland Sutton was coming back from a knee injury. Jerry Jeudy didn't look good. That's a first-round pick. So I think there's some talent questions on the outside. I don't think the Broncos are as good as people thought they were. Javonte Williams, good rookie, but he's going to be coming off injury. So it really does settle back down on the system that Russell Wilson will be running. And they're different type of players. We've talked about this week. We've heard it from Brandon Cristal, a reporter up there. We heard it from an all-pro linebacker this morning, Chad Brown, right, about the differences between Drew Brees and Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. But it feels like, Russell Wilson has to settle in to kind of the next stage of his career. And what is that going to look like? And is Sean Payton the guy to help him with that?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that Chad, who does the radio up there, pointed out all the faults in Russell Wilson from last season. And he didn't mention Hackett at all. He just specifically talked about, things physically that Russell Wilson he saw or he thought couldn't do. His feet being set on deep balls, how he threw deep balls, how he threw intermediate passes. And he kind of seemed to put all the weight of the issues with the offense on Russell Wilson as opposed to the coaching and some of the other players, and which I found interesting. So will Sean Payton fix all those things? I'm not sure. Can he fix all those things? I'm not sure. You have to wait and see. And I don't equate fixing Russell Wilson with winning. Does it mean, okay, your quarterback throws for 4,000, 5,000 yards, whatever it is, and you don't get to the playoffs? Is that a successful season? Or do you get to the playoffs and he has just, journeyman numbers? Do you say, okay, it's Sean Payton, it's not Russell Wilson? So those are the kind of things I look for. Can they become winners? I don't know necessarily if the quarterback, is that big of a deal, if it was that big of a problem, or if it's managing all the other parts of that offense, which is the running game, maybe a tight end because you traded away your tight end, those kind of things. Will they implement some of those things? Will somebody rise at those two positions to make this team better? And so we'll see. We'll see. The wins are what I'm going to judge them by. I'm not going to judge them by the stats. Will Sean Payton make this team a winner and a playoff team?
That's the next step. And the added wild card has changed things. And we saw so many more teams late in the season, even with not great records, but have an opportunity.
Yeah.
With the Seattle Seahawks getting in at the end, you see it in the AFC, the teams battling down the stretch. So, yes, you're looking at Patrick Mahomes. You're looking at Joe Burrow. The guys you're going to have to beat. A healthy Lamar Jackson changes things.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. The AFC is stacked. But there's opportunities to get to the playoffs. And it's matchup based. And I think we're going to see a ton of Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow down the line. I think we're going to see a lot of those matchups, just like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. But someone's going to sneak in. And you know who is all of a sudden under more pressure than anyone else this offseason? It's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be his year. They were the Super Bowl favorites. And he was the guy that could go toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. He was the guy that he didn't lose the game. The defense lost the game last year.
Somebody else
against Kansas City.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden we're not talking about Josh Allen in that same light. And I put him in the golden triangle, Ned. I did that this year.
Yeah.
It was the golden AFC triangle. It was Patrick Mahomes, it was Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. And I still think Josh Allen is that dude that can be successful, but it's going to be all eyes on him. Because Trevor Lawrence still has this honeymoon period, year one, with Doug Peterson. Trevor Lawrence, it feels like more people are blaming everything on Brandon Staley. Excuse me, Justin Herbert. So I meant to say Justin Herbert. It's like everyone's just kind of looking at Brandon Staley. Now he's got Kellen Moore come in and, I guess, elevate that offense more. But Josh Allen is going to be the guy that all of a sudden in this sports world might start souring on a little bit. If he's not playing an AFC Championship game next year.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of Josh Allen. I think he's gotten much better. I didn't like how he badmouthed the Lobos when he got to the NFL. So I'm holding that against him.
Lobos.
He badmouthed them, said, they didn't deserve a ring or whatever. They co-champions, that sort of thing. He got in his feelings a little bit about that. But that's all right. But, he has gotten better. He has gotten better as a pro player. Losing Brian Daboll hurt him. I understand that because the coordinators do make a difference. And coaching does matter, even though some of these players don't believe so. We'll see what happens with these quarterbacks and the fact that the mobile quarterback and guys like Josh Allen, didn't make it. He's got the big contract. He hasn't made it to the Super Bowl yet. He's still got the big Are these guys the guys going to be the face of the NFL in the future? Big quarterbacks that are mobile. As you say, they're not quite runners, but they are runners. Are they pocket passers? They are sometimes. We'll see. If he in the Joe Burrow types and like Justin Herbert types are.
Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, that's like the elite right now. Like that's what you're looking for is the pocket passers with the added mobility.
Yes. So you would put them in the category of the Mahomes, but the Jalen Hurts, the Kyler Murrays, the Lamar Jacksons are in a separate category in your mind.
If we're doing the classic quarterback rankings, I would have them behind Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. I think those are two best quarterbacks in the league. And then you're looking at combination of kind of, to your point, whatever suits your fancy. A Josh Allen. I think Jalen Hurts has shown he's much more than just a system quarterback.
So you would put Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen in the same category?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
And Justin Fields. I'd throw a couple guys in there. They haven't earned it yet, I'm saying.
But
Jalen
Justin
Hurts
Fields is more Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson.
Yes. Okay. And I think Justin Fields is actually the best passer of that.
Just give him some more time.
Over Kyler Murray.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
And Lamar Jackson.
Interesting.
He needs just more experience. He's going to be good.
Baltimore needs to call up Arizona because this year's going to be a mess.
It's going to be a big
They haven't
mess.
hired a head coach.
Their quarterback's not starting next year. Kyler Murray's not starting next year.
And so you're going to bring in a head coach. It's
You
like,
got
oh,
star
what am I gonna
receivers.
do? Just have a redshirt season?
You're going to bring in
J.J. Watt's gone.
You're going to
star
bring in
receiver.
a head coach and a coordinator who are not going to even want Kyler Murray. Now, I know that's going to be the question they're going to have to answer in the interview, but they may just say, yeah, we like him just to get the job. But after that, it's going to be, we don't want this Lily Puttin or Oompa Loompa to be our quarterback, here in Arizona.
Loompa.
He's too little. He's too short. But that's just me, old man.
He's the same size as Drew Brees and Russell Wilson.
He is not the same size. They make that up. He's probably 2 inches shorter than those guys.
I don't think so.
He's got lifts in his shoes.
I'm rooting for Kyler Murray. I do want to see him turn it around.
Baker Mayfield.
I hope he does
got
too.
hit so much this year with that homework clause in his contract. And people saying he plays too many video
games.
games.
The only way Kyler Murray makes it in the NFL if they put the wishbone in Arizona.
Maybe they should. Navy fired their coach. Bring him in. He's available. Yeah. There we go. Ned, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Ned, thanks. It's fun having you this week.
Love hanging out with you. Thank you for the time, my good friend Ned James. Hey, Marie, see her. She's busy. She's got comedy shows.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
Check her out. She's got stuff going on this week. I want to thank Chad Brown, former All-Pro NFL linebacker, for joining us. Jeff Grammer, Albuquerque Journal. We got the Jim Rome Show coming up next. Colin Cowherd at 1. The boys tuning on. Follow that. And we are back Monday. Don't worry. Jeff Symbieta is back from vacation, so I'll turn the radio back on. Join us Monday morning, 7 a.m. for award-winning radio. Adrian, fantastic work on ProView as well. Everybody, Meta World, peace and love. Have a great weekend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.